now we take you to PMC for tonight's varsity basketball game.
Good evening, everybody. This is Frank Brown reporting to you from the gym at Penn Military College in Chester, where we'll be reporting to you all the action in the Swarthmore PMC basketball game. Right now, the players from both sides are out on the court warming up. We had a JV game before this one. It was a pretty exciting one. Our JV lost 66-57, but they were in the game until almost the last minute. Mainly on the effort of two men, John Summerton, who has come down from the varsity and done such a magnificent job for the JV. He scored 24 points. Second straight game he got 24, and the second straight that made him a high scorer. Bill Olson was the other man who scored a goodly number of points. He had 12. Coming into this game, Swarthmore has a record of 2 wins and 12 losses. In the Middle Atlantic Conference Southern College Division, the record is 2 wins and 11 losses. Penn Military College comes into this ball game with a record of 1-10 in the conference. Ironically, that one win was obtained at Swarthmore's expense at the Fieldhouse. The final score of that game being 63-61. Penn Military College winning it in the last 5 seconds. So we expect a real exciting game here. Saturday night, as you probably know quite well by now, the Garnet was being rather thoroughly trounced at Ursinus by a score that was something like 99 to, excuse me, that was the JV score, and a score that was 74 to 51. It was a very sloppy game, and we hope we'll see better ball. Meanwhile, Penn Military College is playing one of their best games of the year right here in this gym against Haverford, which beat Swarthmore the week before by 14. Penn Military College lost that ball game by a score of only 64 to 61, and to pull it out, the Force had to net 6 straight free throws in the last 2 minutes. In that game, the stats showed very balanced scoring. 4 of their 5 starters, and these 4 will also be starters tonight, were in double figures. Mike Gordon had 13, Ron Arbogast had 14, Bud Downey had 12, and Jerry Stretch had 10 in that effort. So we're going to see an attack that features some balanced scoring. We're going to see an attack that on offense works with a weave and a high post, and also is known to use set screens. They also have started to use the fast break more than they did the last time that we met them. So the Garnet will have to get back fast on defense. On defense, PMC, according to our scouting reports, uses 2 variations of the zone, 1-2-2, and then a 2-1-2. They will pressure at half court, and at times when it's necessary, they'll go into the full court press. So that is something for us to watch out for. We have the starting lineup for this ball game. For Swarthmore, at one guard, number 11, team captain Dave Rowley at 5'9". The other guard, Steve Penrose, wearing number 45, and he is 6'1". At center, Steve Hitchner, 6'3", wearing number 23. And the cornermen are Rich Truitt, wearing number 31, he's 6'1", and Gavin Wright, he's 6'2", and he's wearing number 35. And for the PMC cadets, starting lineup, Mike Gordon, number 10, will be at one forward, he's 6'4". The other forward is Ron Arbogast, number 40, he's 6'1". The center is a big boy, 6'5", Bob Conzelman, wearing number 50. And the 2 backcourt men are Bud Downey, number 14, who is only 5'9", same height as Rowley, and Jerry Stretch, number 4, who is 5'10". Rowley out in the middle of the court, meeting with Downey, who's captain. This is a rather small field house. It's, I believe, a little shorter course than you're used to. We're situated not at the court by the scoring table like we're used to. We have a very fine location upstairs in the second floor athletic office where we have a bird's eye view of all the activities here. Our fancy glass backboards here. There isn't very much of a crowd. At the moment, we have the broadcast table quite to ourselves, but John Seidenfeld, one of the JV players, will be up as soon as he has time to shower and dress. He'll be giving us some expert commentary during the game. At halftime, we hope you stick with us because we expect to have almost the whole JV team up here to lend some life to the proceedings. And we expect a pretty close game. One thing worthy of note is that PMC only has a squad of 8 men now. They have had a number of players declared ineligible since our first game with them, including one of the men who was the starter then, one of their better players, Dick Cartwright. Also, one of the players who started after the season, who wasn't a starter, Mara Ship, was lost 2 days before the first game in the field house, and years after the season, I believe there was something wrong with his knee, and he had a knee operation. But PMC in all has 4 less players now than they had when they came to the field house. Should they get into severe foul trouble, it will tell there won't be very much of a bench to call on. Swarthmore is at full strength, all 12 players out there. The pitcher just hit on one of his patented baseline jumpers. I think the players may find these backboards a little more to their liking than they were to Sinus on Saturday. There, the number of players, particularly Steve Penrose, were shooting balls up, and they'd be bouncing way off the backboard. Really hard shots that was gone in the field house, but apparently a harder backboard, plus the fact that the baskets down at our end of the court during that half were a little bit lower than usual, maybe a quarter of an inch, quite enough to throw a player off. The net result was that bad shooting. We expect this game to get underway any minute. As a matter of fact, it should have been underway 2 minutes ago. Quite clearly isn't. As you probably know, this will be Swarthmore's last road game of the season. There's only one more game remaining on the schedule after this one. That's Saturday night at the Fieldhouse. The big one with Haverford for the Hood Trophy, and we expect a big crowd down there for that. As far as some of the conference statistics go, Steve Hitchner of the Garnet is fifth in the conference in rebounds. He's getting 14.6 a game. The top rebounder for PMC is that big center, Bob Consolman, who is ninth in rebounding, getting 10.6 per game. As far as team offense and defense statistics, these are sort of out of date because they were before the Washington game when Swarthmore scored 98 points. At that time, the Garnet was ninth in offense, averaging 57.8 a game. But obviously, the 98-point performance against Washington pulled that up. PMC was last in offense, averaging only 56 per game. Swarthmore's third defense, or was at that time third defense, giving up 68 per game. Although that should suffer because Washington got 88 against us. And PMC is ninth defense, although it's not buzzer rang a few seconds ago. The teams are back in their huddle, and we'll be getting underway shortly. The referees are waiting in the center court. Ball. Here's Swarthmore taking the court. 5 starters: Rowley, Truitt, Hitchner, Wright, and Penrose. No, change was made at the last minute. Wright is not starting. Don Blankers with 4 and starting in his place. 5 starters from PMC now come out. Gordon Arbogast, Councilman Downey, and Stretch. There's a jump between Hitchner and Thompson, and the game is underway. Goes into the corner to Jared Stretch. Holds it. Gives off to Mike Gordon. Gordon holds it. He's become big man in their offense. He has been playing sliver type offense now. Taking their time. Downey holds it. Calls the set play. Calls 22. Gives off into the corner. Gordon brings it out to the midcourt. Gives to Arbogast. Arbogast tries to drive it, but it can't get by through. Back out to the corner. The corner held by Gordon. Gordon tries to drive in, has batted away by Penrose, and Gordon recovers. Turns around and puts one in from only about 7 feet. Penrose went for that ball, knocked it loose, but Gordon recovered in time to put it in, and it's 2-0 in favor of Mckinney. Garnet down court, Crowley. Penrose and into the corner to Truitt. Now goes into the other corner to Blankers. Tries to give a bounce pass to Penrose coming down the baseline, but batted out of bounds by a cadet, and Swarthmore gets the ball. Long pass comes out to Rowley. Rowley directing traffic out there, gives up to the right. Blankers. Back it comes to Rowley, to the left to Truitt, back into the center. And into the right corner where Hitchner has it. He has his pass blocked and taken away by Thompson, who is 2 inches taller than him. Downey brings the ball down very quickly to the cadet. To the left corner, he leaves it for Stretch puts in a jumper from 20 feet, and it's 4-0 in favor of the cadet. Garnet still looking for their first road victory in this national division start. 18 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. Penrose into the left corner to Truitt with a long outside shot. It's short. He gets his rebound, puts it up. It's long. Hitchner gets the rebound, turns around, puts it up. No good. Blankers with the rebound under the basket and scores. Swarthmore got 4 shots there. They got good hustle and good position. Don Blankers puts the Garnet into the scoring column and 4-2. Downey brings it down, calls a set play, number 44, whatever that is. Gives up on the right side to Stretch, who sinks it from 10 feet out. Didn't waste any time on that. And the Cadets are out by 4 again. They set up there in a 2-1-2 zone. Downey and Stretch on the outside, Councilman in the middle, Gordon and Arbogast in the baseline. Rowley brings it down to the Garnet. Dribbles towards the right, passes to the left to Penrose. Now left on the baseline. Blankers hits again. You know what Don takes if he's gonna hit them. He has the best field goal percentage in the conference. And it's 6-4. Here comes Downey dribbling in quickly. Stretch puts it up and in from the foul line. He was all alone there. Inexplicable. Stretch has 6 points. That was very poor guarding there. Rowley has the ball down towards the Garnet. He's hanging on. He gives off to Penrose with a long 15-footer. Too hard around and out. Stretch comes up with a rebound. Brings it down. He's tied up by Rowley, but gets it across the midcourt line to board. To Arbogast. Here's Arbogast trying to drive around the right. He gets the screen. Tries to give up to Downey, but passes it out of bounds. Goes Downey's fingers. And Penrose puts the ball in place to the Garnet. He gives it off to Rowley and brings it down. Goes into the right corner to Blankers and back out to Rowley. Swarthmore works in that shell-type offense. Truitt gets it to Penrose at the top of the key, but a shot is wide to the left. And the battle for the rebound, Don Blankers knocks the ball out of bounds, and the Cadets get the ball. Stretch brings it up. He calls it set play number 42. They keep yelling these set plays out. Stretch is called for walking. He got the ball. Passed back to him right at the foul line. Tried to fake around Penrose, but he was walking right around him. And Rowley puts the ball in play for the Garnet. To Penrose, back to Rowley. Pass into Hitchner, who turns around, shoots it up, but it's no good. Short, 10 feet out. Downey gets the rebound and down quickly for the Cadets. Passes under. Intended for Arbogast, but it was much of a lead pass. Penrose passed it into the Garnet. Passes it into Rowley, who brings it into the forecourt. Penrose passes off to Truitt. He's alone from 20 feet out. shot is a little short. He goes up for the rebound, but he loses it. Compliment of PMC. He's got 4 inches on him. Compliment gets a good lead pass to down. He puts it up from 8 feet out, but it's no good. He was fouled by Hitchner, but getting 2 shots. That is the first foul of the game. 4 minutes have gone by. That's the first foul of the game. It's very clean so far. Compliment will be shooting 2. Hitchner has it. And the first is good. The score is PMC 9, Swarthmore 4, with 16 minutes, 2 seconds left in the half. Compliment puts the second one up, and it's good. And it's 10-4. The Garnets down by 6. Rowley brings it up. Passes off to Truitt. Drives around to the left and has a pass stolen away to Constantine. By Constantine, he tried to get a pass to the Hitchner on the baseline, but couldn't quite make it. Down, he dribbles it down. Standing out there on the right, he's directing traffic. Holds up his hand for a set play. Gives off the stretch and into the corner to Downey. Gives it back to Stretch. Stretch driving around the left. Constantine screens through, but the shot is way short. Hitchner and Truitt fighting for the rebound. They defeated their own purpose. That gets it under the basket. A Compliment who puts it in. Hitchner had the rebound. Truitt took it away from him. Stretch recovers the ball. Pass to Compliment 3 right under the basket and just dunked it in. And it's 12-4. Rowley has the ball for the Garnet. Passes over to the left to Truitt. Truitt holds. Gives the Penrith to the top of the key. Passes out to Rowley. His shot is long. 15 feet. Blankers with the rebound right underneath. He puts it up and in. 6 points for Don Blankers. That's all the Garnet has. It's 12-6. PMC. Stretch has the ball. He hands off to Arbogast driving around, but Arbogast falls for walking as he drove in. The scoreboard only has 10 seconds. Should be 12. Rowley brings it across the 10-second stripe and hands it off to Blankers. Penrose goes up from 15 feet and he hits it. It's 12-8. The Garnet cuts the lead to 4. And Stretch is walking for PMC as he tried to fake around Rowley and walk. Penrose brings it down for the Garnet. He has a pass deflected away by Downey, but into the corner where Blankers gets it. And a great pass underneath to Truitt, who puts it in, and he was fouled. Foul is on number 10, Ford. His first. I'm beginning to believe that we may have made a mistake, because the scoreboard has 10-10 to big enough and about not changing the PMC score to 12. But we do have 12-10 on our scorecard up here. Blankers is a big man for the Garnet so far. He has 6 points. He's been really hustling, giving a great effort underneath the basket. He's been getting his position on rebounds. While for PMC, Stretch has hit for 6 points on some pretty set shots, about 10-15 feet. PMC is quite a lot of screening. Rich Truitt, who just put that basket in and the South will now try to make it a 3-point play. And the shot is good, and that's 11 points for the Garnet. Downey brings it down to PMC. Dribbling it to the left. Arbogast picks for him, but Rowley is not shaken off and he leaves the ball for Arbogast. Arbogast drives around to the left, puts it up from 5 feet. It's no good. Penrose gets the rebound to the Garnet, gives off to Rowley. After Penrose, the bring across the 10 seconds. Here's John Seidenfeld arriving with some color commentary. Pass goes to Truitt, who foul was called on number 4. Jerry Stretch, second PMC foul, the first on Stretch, and Penrose goes to the line. Penrose was the man who passed that ball. He was in on the arm. Shooting 1. It's good. The score according to the board is Swarthmore 12, PMC 10 according to our score sheet. It's 12 all, but I think we better start to lead the board. Walking is called on held by PMC. It goes into the left corner to Downey, drives around to his right and sinks one from 15 feet. Bud Downey scoring. And it is 14 for Swarthmore and 12 for PMC. Penrose has the ball, dribbles to the top of the key, passes off to the right to Rowley, into the corner to Hitchner, shot is short. Stewart gets the rebound, puts it up, no good. Blankers with the rebound, and he sinks it. Don Blankers with 8 points, and 6 of them came on great second effort under the boards there. Swarthmore leads 16 to 12. On the right side, Stretch holds for the Cadets, gives off to Arbogast. And Arbogast is walking with it as he comes into the corner. Time is called while Dave Rowley fixes his glasses. 12 minutes and 14 seconds left on the board. And we're back underway again. Rowley has the ball, dribbling in towards the corner. Gives it off to Hitchner, who turns around, puts up his jumper. No good, no good. 15 feet. Ball goes out of bounds off big Mr. Conzelman. The rest of the JV team is arriving here in drips and drafts to help us report this. Penrose has the ball, tests off to Hitchner in the right corner and back out to Penrose. Blankers holds the ball, tries to pass into Penrose. The ball is loose, Penrose recovers it, gives out to Truitt. Garner slows it up, trying to get things under control again. Penrose holds, passes it off to Hitchner, who gives to Penrose, and a give and go to the top of the key. Penrose shot is no good. Rounded out, rebounded for it. Bringing it down is Arbogast, tries to drive in, he gets the screen from Borden, the shot is no good. Borden with the rebound, puts it up, no good, and Blankers gets the rebound. PMC is using this screening very effectively. And Rowley brings it down. Passes it into the left to Truitt, tries to drive to his left, but his pass into the key is stolen away by Conzelman. Tallest man on the court. Downey brings it down for PMC, puts one up from 15 feet, it's way wide to the right. Rowley gets the rebound, has it stolen away by Arbogast, who puts it in from only about 3 feet out. Alert playing by Ron Arbogast, who breaks into the scoring column for the first time, and it's 16 to 14 in favor of the Garnet. 10:44 left in the half. Penrose is all alone from the top of the key, and he hits with one. Penrose with 6 points. He's the number 2 man for the Garnet in scoring, and it's 18-14. Downey brings it down, passes into the right corner to Stretch. Stretch tied up, gives it off to Bud Downey. Driving along the baseline, goes all the way around, still has the ball on the side. Gives it off to Stretch. Stretch dribbling it back to the right. And now it goes into the left corner to Downey. Downey holding, gets it underneath the board. Borden puts it up around, no good. Conzelman with a rebound up, no good. Again, no good. And the rebound this time comes out to Penrose. Conzelman had 2 shots to point-blank range, missed them both. Penrose passes it over to Truitt. Gives to Blankers. Blankers going up, way off. It's rare that you'll see Don miss one that badly. And the rebound is by Conzelman. Passes off to Downey, brings it across the 10-second track. The right corner goes to Downey. It's to Borden and out to Downey, now to the top of the key. Downey holds, PMC taking their time. Goes off to Arbogast on the left side. Arbogast holding, now he shoots one up from the sideline. No good, rebound is by Borden. He turns around, puts it up and in. Mike Borden hitting on that one, and it's 18 for Swarthmore and 16 for PMC. Bring it down for the Garnet is Rowley. Passes it off to Penrose and back to Rowley again. Goes on to the left side to Truitt and into the corner to Blankers. He almost threw that one away. Back out to Truitt. He shoots 30 feet, no good. Hitchner bats right over the basket, and Conzelman comes down with it for the Cadets. Gives it off to Stretch. Stretch passes it off on the left side to Downey. Downey holds the side to shoot it up, and it's good. But Downey hitting that one from about 20 feet out on the left side, and Rowley brings it down to the Garnet now. It's all tied up at 18-18 with 8.5 minutes left in the half. Penrose holds, gives off to Blankers on the side. Back it comes to Penrose and into Truitt, into Hitchner at the right corner, tries the baseline drive, he can't see it. Gives it out to Penrose, into Rowley. PMC still using that 2-1-2 zone. Truitt has it outside on the left, passes it off to the right to Penrose, fakes the shot, gives it off to Rowley, back it comes to Penrose and into the corner to Blankers. Blankets gives to Penrose, who shoots from just off the foul line. It's no good. The rebound is by Ford. Swivels his arms, pulls everyone away, and gives it off to Arbogast. Brings it across the 10-second stripe. Arbogast has the ball on the left side for PMC. He's holding it. Dribbles once to the left corner. Passes into the left corner to Stretch. The shot is no good. And Truitt takes the rebound away from Consolman. Great hustling by Rich. At rebounding the man 4 inches taller than he is. Rowley brings it down to the Garner. Passes it off on the right side to Blankers. Looks for the shot. Decides to pass to the left to Truitt. And Truitt hits one from 25 feet. Swisheroo for Rich Truitt. 4 points for Rich, and it's 20-18 in favor of the Garnet. Downey passes it off to Borden on the left side for PMC. Borden dribbling to the top of the key, puts it up and in. Nice soft shot there. Tied up at 20 apiece. 7 minutes left in this half. Rowley brings it down. Gives it off to Penrose. Rowley. Penrose, who shoots from the top of the key. It's up, around, and in. Steve Penrose hitting for his 9th point, his 4th field goal. Now he's tied for the Garnet. And it's 22-20. Swarthmore moving now. Consolman has it, playing the high post. Dribbles around, gives it off to Arbogast on the left side. He fakes, almost has the ball stolen away, recovers, and brings it back outside again. He's setting it, gives it off to Consolman at the high post, gives it off to Stretch. Takes the shot, gives off to Downey, and Downey is walking as he starts his drive. The substitute, Gavin Wright, goes in for Don Blankers. Bullis goes out with 8 points to his credit. 6:23 to go in the half. Rowley puts it in play for the Gunners. Passes down to Wright. Penrose, and over on the left side to Truitt. He's taking that shot from 25 feet, no good. Hitchner tips it up and in. Steve Hitchner right there for his first points of the game, and it is 24-20 Swarthmore. Ford dribbles it into the left corner for PMC. He's tied up by Wright. Now he gets it out to Downey. It's hard to see the left corner from where we're situated. Everything else we can see. Number 4, Jerry Stretch has the ball. He passes it to Arbogast. Arbogast drives up and in. He drove right around Rich Truitt. A very good move by Arbogast. Drove around Truitt's left. And it's 24-22. Garnet on top by 2. Rowley holds. Gives off to Penrose. He goes up with one from 20 feet. High, no good. And it's an offensive foul on Steve Penrose. The second foul on the Garnet. The first on Penrose. First offensive foul called the game. Going to the line for the Cadets will be Jerry Stretch. Stretch already has 6 points to his credit. Excuse me, that is Bud Downey at the line. And his shot is no good. Rebound is by Wright. Wright brings it down, gives off to Penrose, and brings it across the timeline. Into the left corner. Hitchner putting it up and in from 20 feet along the baseline. Downey brings it down for the Cadets. He passes off to Borden. Borden to Consolman, and Consolman is walking on the drive. PMC is walking all over this court. Rowley puts it in play for the Garnet. Okay. Brings it into Wright in the forecourt. Truitt takes it to the left from 20 feet. It's a little bit short. Hitchner tips it up and in. Hitchner with 3 quick baskets. The last 6 points to the Garnet, and it's 28-22 in favor of Swarthmore. Timeout called by PMC with 4:41 left in the half. Here's John.
Thank you, Frank. This is a different Garnet team, fans, that we saw last week. They're a hustling team. They're going against this loose zone defense like they didn't last week. They're coming in well for the bounce. They're driving in, and they're taking their shots, doing well with their shots. The PMC team behind guard Downey is doing very well. They're shooting from outside, but they just don't have the class that Swarthmore ball club has. There's a large Swarthmore contingency of fans. I think we have at least 18 down here tonight. They're really cheering, so if you hear a lot of crowd noise, you know where it's coming from. Thank you, and back to Frank.
If you hear any crowd noise, it's coming from the JV players up here. I don't think you can hear the stands at all since we are situated way upstairs, unlike our signage when we were in the stands themselves. PMC puts the ball in play. Downey passing into stretch and into the left corner to Arbogast. Drives around, through it, puts up a hook way over the basket. No good. Rolling gets the ball. And Rowley is called for an offensive foul. Swarthmore leads 28-22, just 4.5 minutes left in the half. The pass that goes to Conselman, it was free, 5 feet away from the basket. He puts it up and in. Penrose has it. To right. And into Truitt under the basket. The shot is no good. It comes off the rim. Rebound by Bort. Gives off to Stretch. He brings it down slowly for the Cadets. Holds and gives off to Arbogast in the corner. Back to Stretch. He shoots 20 feet. No good. Penrose hustles and gets the ball first. Gives it off to Truitt, to Rowley, and the cross comes across the 10-second line.
Let's move that ball.
To Penrose, and on the left side, to Truitt. Hitchner turns around but decides not to jump. Great pass from Penrose into right. 3 underneath the basket. Very alert playing Steve Penrose as saw right 3 under the basket, chopped the ball over to him. Gavin puts it in. 30-24 in favor of the Garnet. Stretch hold. Gives it off at the top of the key to Borden. Borden being guarded now by Gavin Wright on this man-to-man. Downey dribbles to the top of the key, brings it back out again to Arbogast. Arbogast dribbling to the right, shoots it up from 15 feet and good. Arbogast with a nice soft shot there, and it's 30-26. Garnet leads cut to 4. Wright has it into the corner to Truitt. Rich Holtz gives it off to Penrose and dribbles right by the basket and passes out to Rowley. Rowley dribbling in, no good, and a jump ball is called between Hitchner and Borden. They both came down with the ball in the fight for the rebound. Hitchner and Borden jumping it up. 2:47 left in the half. Swarthmore leads PMC 30-26. And this is WSRN. The tap is controlled by PMC's Bud Downey. Downey dribbles it into the left, to the right corner. Holds and gives off to Stretch. Stretch dribbles out towards the middle of the court. Now passes back into the corner to Arbogast. Decides to shoot over Truitt and puts it in from 25 feet. 8 points for Ron Arbogast, and it's 30 for Swarthmore, 28 for PMC. Hitchner has to go off the high post, throws around to the right. Tries to pass into Penrose, but Penrose was fouled by number 40, Ron Arbogast, 6 of his first. Only the 3rd foul, and PMC owns the 6th foul called the entire half so far. Very clean game. Penrose on the line for 1. He puts it up. No good. Hitchner almost tips it in, but it goes off the rim. No good. And Downey comes down with the rebound. Brings it down for the Cadets. Pass off to Arbogast, trying to drive in the ball. It's almost batted away by Rowley. Arbogast continues to drive and put it in the basket, but it's no good. He was walking. And Rowley has the ball. Cadets have been giving the ball away so many times on walking, and it's really hurt them. Into Hitchner, playing a low post right now. Gives out to Wright, who hits from the foul line with his jumper. Gavin Wright with his 2nd field goal of the night. It's 32-28. Swarthmore top by 4 again. Pass by Stretch is stolen away by Penrose. As he brings it down, he's palming. He carried the ball over. He had an open layup there, but he palmed the ball. Downey brings it down. Gives it off to Arbogast. Arbogast puts it up. No good on Hitchner. Gets the rebound. Penrose brings it down to the key. Passes up to the left to Truitt. To right at the baseline and out to Penrose again. Rowley holds. Driving in. Puts it up. No good. No good on that drive. Borden comes down with a rebound to the Cadets. And Downey brings it up quickly. Passes off to Stretch. The shot is no good and Wright comes down with a rebound. Off to Rowley. Rowley dribbling into Penrose. He puts it up under the basket. He is fouled by Stretch. 2 fouls by Stretch. already has 9 points. And now he's in double figures. Hits the first. Here's the second try from the charity line. And it's good. And Swarthmore is on top by 6 again, 34-28. Consummate has it off the high post and gives to Arbogast. Arbogast drives and puts it up, no good. And Rich Truitt is called for a foul. No, Rich did not think so. Thought it might have been offensive. It wasn't. And Arbogast goes to the line for 2. His first is good. One more and run will be the first man in double figures for the Cadets. He has it in 34-30 with 51 seconds left in the half. Swarthmore on top by 4. Rowley brings it down. Gives off to Wright. Wright holds. Passes off to Hitchner. Shot is blocked by Conselman. And Schwartz comes down with the ball. Left to Downey. To Arbogast. Arbogast dribbles into the right. Passes out to Downey. And into Yarnell in the corner. Yarnell holding and gives it out to Downey again. 20 seconds left. The Cadets are holding for the last shot in the half. 15 seconds left. Downey takes his time. He's being guarded very loosely by Rowley. Yarnell passes it into Conselman, and Conselman shoots right over the basket. Then Wright comes down with the ball. Passes off to Rowley. To Wright with a long shot. No good as the buzzer rings. It was short, and it's 34-30 at halftime in favor of Swarthmore. Here's John to give you a summary of the first half while we compute our scoring statistics.
Okay, I'd like to go through this first with the defenses tonight. Swarthmore started off with a man-to-man. They've used this all game so far. They've looked very good in this man-to-man. There have been quite a few picks by the PMC ball club, and Swarthmore has picked them up well. Now, as far as PMC's defense goes, they started off in a zone. They found this very ineffective as Hitchner and Truitt were taking many shots from inside and making many of them. As far as offense, PMC has been running these picks, as I've said, off our man-to-man. And they've run good picks, but they just haven't been making their shots from under. Their big man, Conselman, hasn't been very impressive tonight. Hitchner has held him very well. They have been shooting well from the outside, though. Now, on our offense, I'd say that most of all, our driving has helped us. Our fast break, Dave Rowley bringing the ball down and one forward throwing the ball to him, has worked well. They've been running it well because the PMC ball club hasn't been hustling, hasn't been getting down as fast as they should be getting down there. So that's about it for the first half. The score ended up PMC 30, Swarthmore 34. We are up by 4 points now. The halftime show is, well, it appears to me, fans, in my humble view, it looks like a drill team. I mean, this is something very unexpected. We must take it. It's a rifle drill corps of some Boy Scouts near PMC. They're looking impressive, probably a little more impressive and well drilled than the PMC ball club. Now back to French.
Okay, here are our half-time statistics, which are all quite unofficial. We have Steve Penrose leading the scoring for the Garnet with 11 points, 4 field goals, 3 for 4 from the foul line. Don Blankert has scored for 8 points on 4 field goals. Steve Hitchner has 6 on 3 field goals. Rich Truitt, 5 on 2 field goals, 1 for 1 from the foul line. Gavin Wright has 4 points on 2 field goals. Dave Rowley did not score. Highly unusual since he played every second of the half. He only took 2 shots and 2 drives, and they were both off. Thank you, Bob Pollock, JV player Supreme. Now here's the PMC scoring instantly from Swarthmore. That was 15 field goals, 4 for 5 from the foul line for 34 points. For the Cadets, Ron Arbogast is the leading scorer. He has 10 points. He has 4 field goals, 2 for 2 from the foul line. Mike Forden had 6 on 3 field goals. Jerry Stretch had 6 on 3 field goals. And the center, Bob Conselman, had 6 on 2 field goals, 2 for 2 from the foul line. Bud Downey had 2 on 1 field goal. Bill Yarnell did not score even though he played. That's 13 field goals and 4 for 5 from the foul line with a PMC total of 30 points. We see the 2 of the players who played quite a bit in the first game at Swarthmore are not doing anything tonight. Bob Mckinney was one of the starters and he was sitting on the bench the whole time. The other man was Dick Cartwright, who, as I mentioned before the game, has had to be dropped from the squad because of academic eligibility, along with 3 other cadets. So that has got to hurt them. That does leave them weak on the bench. Only 3 men sitting there. PMC has been playing a 2-1-2 type zone in the entire first half, and Swarthmore's been getting a number of shots from the foul line offense. They've been working the ball in well to Penrose, among others. The applause to the drill team, which just executed a tricky maneuver. Let's see what the JV players have to say about this.
The maneuver was they just shot Costa Miller.
Let's see what the JV players have to say about the JV game.
Oh, thank you, Frank. I have with me tonight Bill Olson, JV players of the Dream, and he'd like to make a few comments on the first half of tonight's varsity game.
We're not quite playing a team quite as good as the last game where we really got smeared. And Garnett's looking a little bit better, but the main problem is we're just not getting as many rebounds on the offense. We're getting a lot of defensive rebounds, getting the ball back, but we're not getting the second and third shots which we need on offense. And I think the defense is working fairly well. We've got to tighten up a little bit, but if they can get those offensive boards, and of course the PMC has a couple of pretty good-sized men, about 6'5" on the inside. So they're blocking out very well, and so we're not getting the second and third shots which we need. If we can do this in the second half, we'll be able to increase the lead a little bit, and I think we'll probably win it. So back to John Seidenfeld.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. We still have in front of us the PMC youth drill corps. They've done a very good job. They're only young lads, about 8, 9 years old, and they're going through an impressive drill. I'd like to say hello to Seymour Muscovite, who's in our listening audience, who did not make it to the game tonight, but was one of the major reasons for the disappointing show in our JV game. We really missed him down at the end of the bench. Mike mentioned that, yes, the JV did lose tonight. They had a very good chance to win this game, but through sloppy play, they gave the game away. They were led by John Somerton and Bill Olson, but these men just couldn't do enough to come through for us. We worked very well against their man-to-man, scoring 10 points in a row and coming back to a 44-44 tie. But after this, PMC went into a zone defense, and from there, it was all a downhill slide. In this game, we had a bit of trouble with the referees. They were not calling quite the game that they called them against John, and that's why he's complaining. They did not call a fine game. I mean, sometimes things are said against referees, but tonight they deserve it, fans. They really do. They were bad. Billy Olson, do you have a comment on the ref tonight?
I'd say the young ref was really a good guy. He was my friend, but that old ref, the one who was kind of getting balls. Every time he called a foul, it looked like he was going to jump right up on top of the player and hit him or something. He really got scared out there on the court. Hey, but about the JV game,
Let's keep it clean.
the JV team came back real strong at the beginning of the first half. They were getting the fast break, give and go, about 4 quick baskets. Looked like they might pull it out, and if I tell you, if PMC had stayed in that old man-to-man, we would have really crumped them. but as it was, they went back into the zone, and working against the zone defense, part of the JV's not so strong point. That was the reason for the eventual downfall of the JV 5 tonight. Here's Frank.
I'm sure that Seymour would say that the reason for the downfall was simply that they put the ball in the basket more times than we did.
Well, it was actually the ref throwing it in for the other team.
Going back down to the court again, we'll see next year, WSRN halftime show.
I don't expect we'll be able to do that next year. It'll probably be in the varsity locker room during halftime.
Let's not laugh at that joke.
One of the key things that struck us during the first half was simply the frequency with which the cadets were walking. It looked like it was almost every other time they had the ball. Their players would take about two steps and then make their drive. And they had about 4 baskets nullified in this way. In a close game like this, obviously, that could be a turning point. The cadets seem to have set plays every time they have the ball. The captain is Bud Downey. He just shouts out a play number every time they have the ball. And
may I comment that Downey has been shooting very well from the outside, and it's been a great boon to the PMC offense. I might say that he has only 2 points.
little disagreement up here. Swarthmore comes back onto the court. Actually, the important thing about the PMC offense is, as we say, it is set up every time. Nothing doesn't seem as if anything has left a chance. They've been using the screens with great frequency. They've been using the pick, and clearly not a deal where the player with the ball just sees a man standing there and says, I think he'd make a nice pick for me, and drives around him. It's quite well set up. They have Conselman, who's on the high post very frequently, standing there, has a pick right at the top of the key. And Arbogast particularly likes to drive across that. Gordon also likes to drive across that, put it up and in behind that pick. We'll see if they're able to execute this as well in the first half. That netted 6 of Arbogast's 10 points.
Fans, I'd like to comment right now on this court, PMC's. PMC's basket, one is attached to the wall, and it gives hardly any. It's a very tight basket. The ball bounces back hard. The other basket, on the contrary, is loose. It's not hooked up to the wall, and it's suspended from a beam in the ceiling. It gives very much. The difference between these baskets is great, and perhaps this is throwing a lot of the shooting off. This is a fairly low-scoring game, 34-30 so far for a varsity game. This could be the cause. The court itself is also tightly bounded, as Ursinus' court was. It gives no leeway on the sides. The players usually have their feet sticking on the court. This makes for tight situations as far as fast breaks go and presses, but we have not seen any press tonight. So we hope that neither team will have to worry about getting hurt in this way. Frank?
John, what would you say is the shooting capacity of this unit?
Frank, I'd say it's about the same as Ursinus, around 450. It's small.
Yes, we're not getting overwhelming amounts of crowd noise.
We only have about 200 people here tonight. The crowd is thin, and the Swarthmore fans make more of a dent this way.
John, could you tell me why Coach Forwood started flankers, and after Don was playing such a great first half of the first half, being very alertly free under the basket for the rebound, why pulled him out?
Well, Frank, Gavenwright came in late from a seminar tonight, and he did not have time to warm up with the team. So he was on the bench with, right next to Coach Forward for the first half of the first half. And Blankers was pulled as soon as they figured that he was not doing as much good to the team as Gavin could in there. Gavin, as you remember last game, is a hustler, and so far he has not played over impressively, but he has the potential, and he has made a few nice layups from under and a few good rebounds. Frank, do you have any more questions?
No, I think that sort of clarifies it. Do you think that Don will play much in the second half?
Well, Blankers, as you may know, is the highest percentage shooter in the league, or was as of last week. So Coach Forward might see fit, as this game is a close one right now, to put Blankers back in. There's a great possibility of seeing Don back in there tonight.
Okay, the buzzer has just gone off, and the second half is getting underway. Just a moment. Yes, I see that Blankers is on the starting five for the second half. Swarthmore, the same five that started the game. Blankers, Pruitt, Kitchener, Rowley, and Penrose. Wright is on the bench somewhere. I don't see him.
He was looking a little tired. I guess it was a long seminar.
And for PMC, they have a change in their starting five. Yarnell, number 34, is new to it. He goes along with Downey and Consolman is jumping center, Arbogast, and Stretch. Gordon is not in the starting five. The top is controlled by PMC, and into the corner goes Jerry Stretch back outside to Downey. Into Stretch again with a long shot, and it's good from 25 feet. Jerry.
See that give on that basket?
Rowley brings it down. He's almost battled up. Gets it away to Penrose. To Truitt. Zone press employed by the cadets. Penrose puts it up. No good. Truitt puts it up and in. Swarthmore got the rebound 3 times there. And Truitt put it in. Downey takes the shot from the top of the key. It is way wide to the right. That's 2 feet off his mark. Rowley passes off to the left to Penrose and into the corner to Hitchner. It's no good. Blankers gets it up, no good. Gets the rebound and puts it in.
What do you look at?
Blankers into the double figures. That's 10 points for Blankers, and 8 of them are on Tippin. Arbogast takes a long shot from just outside the right corner for the cadets and sinks it from 25 feet. They seem to like the shooting range on that basket better. Swarthmore brings it down. Downey commits a foul on, but that's only his first. First of the half, and here is Rowley to the foul line. Dave's shot is up. Around, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Ford, who just came into the game replacing Yarnell. Brings it down, gives off to Arbogast. Arbogast dribbles, shoots behind Consolman's screen, no good. Rebound by Blankers. Whistle blows. And because Penrose has eyeglass trouble. Now it's all cleared away, and here we go again. Rowley brings it across the 10-second stripe. Dribbling, taking his time. Beats Penrose, gives off to Blankers, back to Penrose, and outside it comes to Rowley again to start all over again. Rowley fakes away, puts it into the corner, and Pruitt sinks one from about 25 feet. Very nice play for Swarthmore. Pruitt hitting 25 feet. 9 points for Rich. Downey dribbles to right, shoots from the top of the key for PMC, around and out, and Hitchner comes down with the rebound. Gives it off to Truitt and to Penrose. Comes into the forecourt. Into the corner to Hitchner. Hitchner's shot is blocked. Outer comes Tiroli, though. Swarthmore still in possession. Truitt drives into the right corner. And he's called for an offensive foul. He drove into Conzelman. Two fouls on Rich. No one is in any sort of foul trouble. Swarthmore leads 40-34 with 17 minutes and 10 seconds left in the half. In the game. Stretch puts one up from way outside for the Cadets. Fight for the rebound, the whistles blow. Foul was committed on number 10, Mike Borden, his second. It was a pretty wild scramble for that ball. And Truitt goes to the line. He's sunk his only other try from the charity stripe so far tonight. Truitt's shot is up and good. Shooting eye is on tonight. Swarthmore by their longest lead, 7 points, 41-34. PMC bring it up in the forecourt to Conzelman. Conzelman standing there in the high post, gives off to Stretch. Stretch driving around to the right, fakes the man, puts it up, no good. Conzelman with the rebound up, no good. And Blankard comes down with it, gets it out to Hitchner. Hitchner dribbling down quickly. Leads it off to Penrose. Penrose putting it up too hard. No good. Rowley hustling, gets back to the ball. Rebound came way out. Rowley bounces it into Blankards in the corner. Back out to Rowley, to Penrose. And to Truitt on the left side. Truitt goes into the corner. Tries to pass off to Blankards. Pushed out by PMC. It's still Swarthmore's ball. Ball goes into Truitt, who takes the shot from about 30 feet. No good. Bounces out hard. Down he has it. Brings it up to Neely at the midcourt stripe. Passes to Stretch. Underneath the Conzelman. Blocked brilliantly. He is blocked brilliantly. Swarthmore's ball. Rowley to Penrose. Penrose putting one up from 15 feet. No good. Off the rim. Blankets with a rebound. Gives it out to Rowley. Rowley shoots from about 20 feet, and he puts it in. First scoring for Rowley of the day. Timeout is called with a score 43-34. Swarthmore with its longest lead, 9 points. John?
In this second half, we saw PMC come out with a 1-2-2 zone. For those of you who don't know what this is, it is 2 men up front, 2 under the basket, and 1 chasing the ball. He follows the ball all over the court except to the sidelines near the basket. This has not been really effective for this PMC team, as Swarthmore has been rebounding hard and they've been moving the ball well. I think this has probably been the key. Now Penrose has looked well. He has shot quite a few times, and by the law of averages, he's assured of making a few points. This is the object of the game. We must shoot. We have not been doing this enough in games past. Penrose keeps this up, and he'll have a good game for himself. Frank?
Thank you, John. Downey passes it in for the Cadets into Stretch. Conzelman is now playing a low post instead of a high one. We'll see how they work their offense now. It goes into Conzelman on the low post, gives off to Stretch and out to Arbogast. Arbogast putting up a jumper from 25 and 30 feet. It's good. Arbogast hits his mark. Rowley passes it off to Hitchner. Hitchner drives around to his left and into the corner to Blankard. Back out to Rowley. Rowley dribbles it off around to his left. Holding. Gives it off to Truitt. Truitt 3 from about 15. No good. Fight for the rebound. Truitt. Again, no good. Again, he gets the rebound up, and this time it's good. Truitt got 3 rebounds there and finally put it in. Great hustle by Truitt. Great sound effects by John Seidenfeld. Conzelman puts the shot up for PMC. It's no good. It looked like the ball went out of bounds off Truitt. It did. PMC's ball. Into Conzelman. He puts it up and in from about 8 feet. He's got a good inbounds pass there. Rowley bringing it up to the Garnet. Score is 45-38. Swarthmore by 7. Truitt 3 from about 20 feet. No good. Hitchner goes up to the tip. No good. Again, no good. Ball goes out of bounds. It's awarded to PMC. No, to Swarthmore. Swarthmore. Blanker dribbles to his left, passes into the left corner to Hitchner. Hitchner driving out, the top of the key, puts it up, a shot is blocked for Blanker. Dribbles up and puts it in. Nice drive and left-handed hook by Don Blanker, who now has 12 points. Gordon holds PMC, gives off to Conzelman on the low post. He almost loses the ball, gets it to the corner to stretch. Out to Downey, driving in, puts it in. A great drive by Downey, and he was fouled in the act of shooting. Fouled in the act by Rich Truitt, who picks up his third. Downey sinks his free throw. And it's 47-41 with just under 14 minutes left in the game. Swarthmore leading by 6. Swarthmore's ball out of bounds. Swarthmore passes batted out off Downey of PMC. And it cuts to the corner to Truitt. Truitt holds, gets the blanket, fakes around a man, and as he goes up, he was fouled by Conzelman.
Frank, that was a nice fake by Blankers. He moved his man to the right, then to the left, and his man by that time was on top of it.
The first shot is good. Don with a big score from Garnett. He misses the second one, but gets his rebound. He's really hustling out there. Gives it into the left corner to Truitt. Back out to Blankers. Turns around, puts it up a little bit short. No good. Arbogast comes down with a rebound from PMC. Fast break. Stretch goes down. Passes it across the basket to Downey, who puts it up and in. And it's 48-43 in favor of Swarthmore. Blankers puts the jumper up from 10 feet. No good. Goes across the basket. Whistle blows. And a foul is called on Truitt.
We have 3 Mesdames de Marches in the stands tonight, but they're not hitting
Going to the line is Bob Mckinney, who just came into the game for PMC. First time he gets his hands on the ball. He puts the first shot up and good. That's the only one he gets. And it's 48-44, Swarthmore. 13 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game. Truitt puts one up from 20 feet, no good. Blankers gets the rebound, whistle blows. 67-53, Swarthmore. Arbogast and Downey bring it down for PMC. Downey has it now in the left side. He tries to give a lead pass to Gordon, but he throws it out of bounds. Let him too much in his roll. He brings it down to Swarthmore. Passes off to the right. Into the left corner to Truitt. Truitt holds. And I believe he was fouled by Arbogast. Yes, Ron was all over him. Truitt goes to the line. 4 fouls on Arbogast. Truitt is the Garnet's leading foul shooter. He's shooting 1 and 1. And he misses it. Hitchner almost gets the rebound. Everyone falls down to fight for the rebound. And Rich Truitt is called for a foul. He fell on somebody. I don't know how they picked one foul out of the bunch. Well, that's 4 fouls on Truitt. So he's in trouble. On the line is Ron Arbogast. I really don't know how they picked out one foul out of that whole pile. They had all sorts of players groveling around under the basket. Arbogast's shot is no good, and Hitchner gets the rebound. Gives it off to Rowley. He brings it up. He's picked up by Yarnell at the midcourt stripe. Yarnell steals the ball away. Good defensive maneuver by Yarnell. Gives off to Downey. Downey driving to the left. Puts it up and in from 15 feet. Bud Downey with 11 points this half. PMC's big man here. Rowley has the ball on the outside now for the Garnet. He holds, gives off to Hitchner. Hitchner driving. Called for walks before the drive. Buzzer blows, and here's Jerry Stretch into the game for PMC, replacing Bill Yarnell. Arbogast dribbles towards the right, shoots, shot is short. Arbogast fouls up, gets the rebound, puts it up, no good. There's a foul on Steve Hitchner. Second on Hitch. Swarthmore, here is Jack Hook going into the game. Rich Pruitt comes out. Rich Pruitt played a good game, a lot of hustle. He has 13 points, 5 field goals, 3 for 4 from the foul line. And Ron Arbogast is on the line for PMC. His shot is good and he gets another. Second one is no good. Hook fighting for the rebound and comes down with it. Swarthmore's lead, cut to 11, 67 to 56. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in this game. Wright holds it, turns around, gives it out to Rowley. To Hitchner at the top of the key. Hitchner turns around, puts it up and swisheroo from 15 feet. A beautiful shot by Hitchner. Hitchner playing a fine game at 69 to 56. Swarthmore by 13. Downey has the forecourt from PMC. Gives up to Arbogast. He drives. Stops and shoots one up and in from 10 feet out. Ron Arbogast. 19 points for Arbogast. He's the high scorer for the Cadets. Hook has the ball now for Swarthmore in the forecourt. Passes all the way across the court to Wright, and he was fouled by Board. That's 4 fouls on Board. Now PMC has 2 men. Gordon and Arbogast in foul trouble. They have very limited bench to call on. Soon they'll have only 5 eligible players left. Right on the line, he puts it up and in. Gets the bonus. And that one is good. Swarthmore is really hitting from the foul line tonight, and it's 71-58. Garnet on top by 13 with 4:40 to go. Downey has the ball on the left side for PMC. Holds, dribbles and shoots. And it's a little bit too long. Wright comes down with the rebound for the Garnet. Passes off to Rowley. Bring it down very quickly. Holds, gives to Wright in the corner. Shot from 15 feet in and out. Rebound is by Board. Gives off to Arbogast. Bring it across the 10-second stride. Arbogast almost up to the foul line. Passes off to Downey. The Councilman. And off the stretch. His shot is long. No good. Wright comes down with the rebound for the Garnet. The Garnet is clearing the board. Holding PMC to 1 shot. Rowley brings it down now for the Garnet. Passes into the corner. The hook as it goes up, it's blocked by Consulman. Stretch gets the ball from PMC. Boy, did Consulman stubborn. Downey dribbles to the baseline. Puts it up and in from 10 feet. Downey is really hitting. 6 field goals for Staff. He has 15 points for the game. Rowley. Bounce pass to Hitchner. Hitchner puts it up from 8 feet and in. 6 field goals this half for Hitchner. He has 22 points. He's the high man in the game. For PMC, stretch it all along. 20-footer. He sinks it in. He was fouled by Penrose. Swarthmore calls timeout. John?
Frank, we haven't noticed too much difference in the styles of play. PMC has come a little tighter on defense, but it hasn't affected the Swarthmore ball club. They've still been hitting, and I think they've shaken loose this PMC club. PMC is hustling, but they're not really organized. They're not playing good ball. They're running hard. They're moving, but they're not moving in the right places, and they just haven't been able to contain our club tonight.
Thank you, John. As Jerry Stretch goes to the foul line for PMC, he has the opportunity of cutting the Swarthmore margin to 10 points. Right now, it's currently 73-62, 3:28 to go in the game. Stretch has 10 points. He'll be trying for his 11th. Yarnall is now in the game for... Yarnall is now in the game for PMC. He replaces Gordon. The foul shot is up and in. The press is on by PMC. Full court press. Pass gotten away to Hitchner. Here he comes driving in. Shoots from the top of the key. Rounding out. Wright gets the rebound. To Hook and into Rowley in the left corner. Rowley dribbles in. Pass back out to Hook to Wright. Swarthmore taking their time. Wright is almost tied up at the midcourt line. Yarnall is almost all over him. Chuck Lansbury just came in. He's double teamed and fouled. Foul is called on Downey. Picks up a second, and Lansbury, who's just in, goes to the line. Let's go, Chucky. Come on, kid. Chuck on the line. His shot is up. And no good. Hook almost puts it in. Swarthmore's ball out of bounds. Ball went out off PMC. Ball passed into Lansbury. Dribbling in. Bounce pass to Wright. Good speed, but something was called against the Garnet. Traveling on Lansbury. Stretch passes into Downey for the Cadets. Into Stretch. Arbogast. He puts it up and in. PMC trails by 8 with 2:40 to go in the game. Wright dribbling up to the Garnet. Dribbles it to the top of the key. Back out to Lansbury. To Rowley and to Hook. Garnet taking their time in the breeze. Rowley has it. Dribbling to the outside. He's fouled by Downey. Coming around. PMC has to foul at this point. Garnet starts the free throws. They have this game for sure. I think they have it anyway, but Rowley shooting the first on a 1-and-1. He can up the lead to 10 points. As you can see, 2 here. First is good. And it's 74 to 65 in favor of the Garnet. 22 left. Here's Rowley's second shot. It's good. And for Swarthmore, here's Rich Yeager into the game. He replaces Dave Rowley, who leads with 6 points, 1 field goal, 4 for 5 from the foul line, all in the second half. Come on, Rich. Stretch has the ball inbounds to PMC. Passes it to Arbogast. Moves Consolman into the low post, passes it to Consolman. Consolman turns around, puts it up, no good. Yarnall tried to tip it in, no good. Hook gets the rebound, passes it out to Hitchner. Hitchner brings it down. He brings it to the left corner. And out to Wright. Yarnall guarding him closely. Wright driving in. He puts it up, no good. He was fouled in the act of shooting. Foul on number 34. Bill Yarnall is second. Kevin Wright to the line for 2 shots. John?
Putting in more of their shots could explain PMC's first. Right now they're back by 11 again because of some good free throw shooting by Gavin Wright, who's just sunk 2, and Dave Rowley.
Okay, Stretch brings the ball quickly into the forecourt for PMC. Tries to pass it across the key and bat it out off Lansbury. PMC's ball. Yarnall passes it in. It's almost stolen away by Yeager, who fouls Consolman. The pass was intended for. 1 foul on Yeager, who's only been in the game for a few seconds. Rich making his presence felt very early. Here's Consolman on the line. First shot is round and out. Hook goes up for the rebound. He is fouled by Arbogast, and I believe Arbogast is out of the game. Ron Arbogast goes out of the game. He was the high man. He had 21 points for the Cadets. Ron Arbogast fouls out. And Jack Hook is on the foul line. Hook's first is good, and he gets the bonus. Swarthmore on top by 13, and now by 14 as he makes the second. It's 79 to 65 with only 1:47 left. The Garnet, we can safely say, has gotten its first road victory of the season in its last road game. Downey puts one up from the baseline for PMC from 20 feet and hits the mark. Downey with a great second half here. Full court press is on. Wright brings it down quickly. Being guarded closely by Yarnall. Gets it out to Yeager. Yeager. So Hook driving along the baseline. Gets the pass out to Wright. Wright. Into the corner to Hitchner. Hitchner brings it out. Passes to Yeager. Yeager tries to drive in, has the ball stolen away by Jerry Stretch. And Stretch loses it. Stretch falls down, Councilman falls down, Yeager falls down, and Hook falls down. Let's see if they call a jump ball. Hook and Councilman. David Wright comes out, replaced by Dave Darby as the bench is being cleared. Hook taps it to Hitchner, turns around, puts it up a little too long, Councilman gets the rebound. To Stretch, and Stretch loses the ball out of bounds. Hitchner will put the ball in play for the Garnet. Holmes gets it on to Yeager. Yeager driving along the baseline, puts it up and in. Rich Yeager hitting the scoring column. Swarthmore leads 81 to 67, 46 seconds left. Hitchner steals the ball away. Dribbles out to the baseline, holds, dog at the foul line. The shot is up, round and no good. Ball goes out. Off Darby. And with 38,
Steve Coleman with some flash. Mineola has just entered the game.
and here comes Bob Graves. He'll be making his first varsity appearance if he gets a chance. Hitchner almost stole the ball away from the Garners. He made it a loose ball. Cone and Consulman fall down on the loose ball. There's a jump ball between those two. Dave Cone, by far the shorter man here. Graves goes into the game. Time is called by Swarthmore. There's 31 seconds left. The score is 81 for Swarthmore, 67 for PMC. It's all over except the shouting. All the Swarthmore serve statistically just said the first road victory for Swarthmore this season coming in the last road game. Swarthmore's record will be 3-12 after this game. And PMC will have had their conference record deteriorate to 1 win and 11 losses. The one win, as we mentioned earlier, came against Swarthmore at the field house. Consulman will be jumping against Cone. Also in for the Garnet will try to spot them. Graves, Yeager, Hook, and Darby. Hardly the starting five. Yeager has it, beats Darby, loses it out of bounds. It's PMC's ball. Joe Keel into the game for PMC. Passes down court to Consulman. Puts it up. No good. To Mckinney. Gets the rebound. Puts it in. Bob Mckinney. First field goal of the night. 14 seconds left. Lead pass to Darby, who is fouled as he's driving in. He was really bumped out of bounds and into the wall. Foul. There was called on Joe Keel, who had just come in. Bob Consulman out of the game. He's replaced by Mike Ford back in. Dave Darby on the line for the Garnet. One score. Leads now 82-69. 10 seconds left. As Darby hits the first. Here's the second. It's up and it's good. The inbound pass is stolen away by Dave Darby. Guarded closely. Gets it out to Cone. Cone with a jumper. No good. Long. Graves gets the rebound. Puts it up just missed. Whistles blow though. He was out of bounds. He got the rebound and it's PMC's ball. Mckinney fires it down court. Then it gets caught in the rafters. The game ends. Final score is Swarthmore 83, PMC 69. Here's John.
Well, this is a great victory. The Swarthmore club has come back late in the season. Now they're 3-12. They looked good today. They were driving, they were hustling, and they were rebounding. As Willie also pointed out to us earlier in the game, they were getting about 3 rebounds a game, which is very good. I mean, it gives the team a chance to get those extra shots, which they need to get the ball in. Dave Rowley was moving well on his fast break moves. He was really getting down the court fast. He was losing PMC defense, and I think probably this fast break could have been the thing that really shook PMC up. Blanker's first half was really good for Swarthmore. He carried us, and I believe we were winning by 34 to 30 in the first half. This was largely due to Blanker's first half first. The tight man-to-man that PMC threw on us later in the game didn't serve to do much except to shake the PMC club up themselves. We were driving around it. We were playing much better ball than them. We noticed probably the reason for PMC's 1-11 record is a lack of discipline on the court. They seem to lack the plays and the playmakers. They move about. They try for their pick and roll, but they just don't get these with the good defensive offense as Swarthmore was tonight. If they had only the their rifle team, which is undefeated this season, they would have done excellent. But unfortunately, they didn't have this tonight. I'd like to turn the mic over to Billy Olson, who has some comments on the game.
Well, it was a very good game. The Garnet came out on top. They were playing tight defense and really hustling and getting the boards. Especially in the second half, they were hitting the second, third, fourth effort. Everybody was hitting well. It was a real good game. And I think about the first time all season the reserves have come in a little bit earlier than about 10 or 15 seconds to go. And one man who looked especially good was Jack Hook. And this kid, he hasn't played very much all year, but he got in there, got 3 or 4 real good rebounds. The kid can really jump. And I think next year we should be looking at this kid. Maybe we'll get a little bit more out of him. I would like to, I was down during halftime looking at the JV scorebook. First, I would like to say hi out there to Seymour Moskovitz, who couldn't make it to the game today. But there's 2 boys on the JV squad, namely Mike Vitello and Dwayne Patterson. Both were only in for a very short time. Both scored 100%, both shooting 1 for 1 from the floor. And if the boys had been in there a little bit longer, they certainly would have gotten a lot more, 17, 18 points a game. So we should be looking. And maybe these boys will be on the varsity next year, and we expect a lot of them. Here's John.
Thank you, Bill. I also saw this. I think this was a very fine commentary. These extra boys came in. They did a good job. Dave Cohen also made it into this game. I'm sure he's very happy for that fact. Also, I believe, who else did we see today? Rich Yeager. Rich Yeager scored. And also Dave Darby, who came in, got 2 free throws, and stole the ball in the late minutes of the game. Frank, do you have any comments on the game?
Well, we have the final point total. First for Victoria Swarthmore, the high man, Steve Hitchner. He had 22 points on 9 field goals, 4 for 5 from the foul line. Real great game for Hitch. John Blankert played probably his best game of the season. He got 15 points on 7 field goals, 1 for 2 from the foul line. 2 men hit 13. Steve Penrose on 5 field goals, 3 for 4 from the foul line. And Rich Truitt on 5 field goals and 3 for 4 from the foul line. 8 points were scored by Gavin Wright on 2 field goals, 4 for 4 from the foul line. Dave Broley picked up 6 all in the second half, 1 field goal, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. 2 points were scored by Rich Yeager on a field goal, 2 each by Dave Darby and Jack Hook on 2 for 2 from the foul line. Chuck Lansbury missed his 1 foul shot, didn't score. Dave Cohn and Bob Graves also played, but didn't figure in the scoring. Swarthmore, that's 30 field goals, 23 for 29 from the foul line, some of their best foul shooting of the season. Total of 83 points. They were really converting those 1-and-1s late in the game. For PMC, the high scorer was Ron Arbogast, who fouled out with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. He had 21 points. He had 9 field goals, 3 for 5 from the foul line. 17 points scored by Bud Downey, over 2 of them in the second half. He played a really remarkable half. He had 8 field goals, 1 for 2 from the foul line. 11 points were scored by Jerry Stretch, who got 5 field goals and converted his only foul shot. 9 points scored by Mike Gordon on 4 field goals, 1 for 1 from charity stripe. Bob Conselman with 8. 3 field goals, 2 for 3 from the foul line. Bob Mckinney scored 3 on 1 field goal, 1 for 1 from the foul line. Bill Yarnall and Joe Keel got into the game, did not score. For PMC, 30 field goals, 9 for 13 from the foul line, 69 points. So each team got 30 field goals, the difference was in the foul shooting. Swarthmore was really converting. That brings the season record up to 3 wins and 12 losses. This has been the last road game for the team, so this will be our last basketball broadcast of the season. We hope you enjoyed them. The team itself will have one more home game, the Hood Trophy game, Saturday night against Haverford. Till then, for John Seidenfeld, Bob Pollock, Mike Costello, and Bill Olson, who are here both in mind and in spirit and in body, this is Frank Brown, returning you to WSRN. So long, everybody.
This is WSRN 640 kHz, Swarthmore College Radio. The time is 10 minutes to 10.